This is Houston Newsmakers Extra. I have Senator John Whitmire here, the Dean of the Senate. Been there 39 years. 9 years before that, state rep. And you started running for office. Did you have hair then?
I had hair. I was a 22-year-old college student and got elected knocking doors.
Yeah. Do you remember that? Do you think about that because that's what got you going? I mean, you've been a public servant for such a long time.
I have not forgotten where I came from, and I know individuals that helped me get there the first time, and it's my duty, my obligation not to let them down. They're my motivation for doing a good job. I mean, I came out of Oak Forest, Independent Heights, knocking doors, and people would say, put a sign in there. I like you, young man. I remember that, and I'm not going to let them down. Particularly the African American community, the Independent Heights gave a young person an opportunity, and I have not forgotten it.
This whole process has been really interesting to me. I've known you for a long time, and as you've continued to control things and be a part of different legislative committees, what has been the magic sauce that has allowed you to do what you've done in a legislature that really is tilted not Democrat, but Republican, but you still have leadership positions within that environment?
I think public service is a calling. I don't think getting elected at 22 to the state legislature was some fluke. I think, quite frankly, I think there was divine intervention. I had no money. I did it knocking doors. I believe in constituent service, which is my strength. I enjoy working with the local communities probably more than I do going to Austin, which can get boring some days because, one, we already know the outcome on so much of it. But to help someone with a son that's in prison get his insulin, that people are ignoring that family's request. Illegal dumping is a horrible problem. I've actually fixed it on a limited basis using some volunteer inmate labor. We will clean up this city.
What do you think's been the problem? I mean, because you look at it and there's a lot that's touted. I mean, Houston, I always say when I'm doing my weather and other kinds of things, best city in the United States of America.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of things that we can talk about, and I live in the city of Sugar Land, but this is my community. I'm sorry about that. No. But we still have a lot to be proud about. But yet you say there's still a lot that's got to be done. Why has it not been done the way you?
I think previous leadership has kicked the can down the road. Our city finances is a mess. You know, administrators say, well, our garbage system is unsustainable. Well, fix it. Fix the finances. The streets need to be fixed once and for all. But the illegal dumping, you know, like I said, a lot of people can come in here and talk about the problems, but I have the experience, I have the contacts to get things done. And I can't explain why other people don't take that approach.
Did you think about, on the program, you talked about the reason you were running, as people came to you and said, these are problems and we think you can fix them. Did you think about other people who might be in the race at all, or did not make any, no difference?
Well, obviously, timing is everything in life and politics. The stars were lined up. I had considered it back as far back as '98. I passed legislation that created the stadiums, the sports authority, and its revenue stream, the hardest thing I probably ever did. And at that time in '98, there was some encouragement, you're on a roll, and then Lee Brown came back from Washington, maybe New York, and that ended that discussion. So I've worked with 9 mayors. I've seen what works and doesn't work. I've dealt with deficits at the state level. I know what you can do when you have a shortfall of funds. So I drive the streets of Houston. The homeless issue drives me nuts. The illegal dumping can be fixed. The safety in our neighborhood. We have dangerous crosswalks that need to be fixed for pedestrian mobility. So when you have all this experience and you're a public servant, it would be a sin to waste it.
Before we started recording, I don't know if you want to share this or not, but we talked about an area of the town where new sidewalks are going in, where other places don't have sidewalks.
I live, in my office is in the Heights. I'm routinely seeing the management district in the Washington Memorial area and now in the Montrose area tear up perfectly good sidewalks. They want to widen them. I go to Denver Harbor on the east side of downtown and they want their first sidewalk. So we've got to do something about the disparity in Houston. We've got, you know, you go to Uptown on Post Oak and their Christmas decorations probably cost a fortune. And then I go to Acres Home. I go to other communities that are just begging for basic services. So we can't have the lavish and then we have the impoverished neighborhoods that want their first sidewalk.
This whole process now.
Stray animals. You know, bark, bark
yes.
is broken. We can fix bark. We'll privatize it and put a nonprofit and raise all kind of corporate money to take care of our animal shelter.
So one of your suggestions is to privatize bark?
I will do whatever it takes to fix bark to receive public-private partnerships.
Going forward in the State House, last session, a lot of things caught a lot of attention nationally. One of them was the abortion laws that were being put in place. Texas still has one of the more strict ones. And I've heard that there's more legislation coming in the coming session to make it even more restrictive. Have you heard that about anything?
Well, with the Supreme Court ruling, they've pretty much shut it down, which I strongly disagree with. I think a woman ought, in her doctor and her faith, ought to determine what she does with her body. That was the losing position in Austin. Elections matter, but that is not a primary city service. So we'll fight that out in Austin and in the Supreme Court, but then get back to basic city services. Be outspoken for women's rights, but we've got to change the makeup of the legislature, or certainly educate people to there's real serious medical considerations. I have a neighbor that's a prenatal doctor at Texas Children, and so now we're requiring mothers to have delivery of fetuses that are not developed, that quite frankly, the doctors talk to me about their concerns. So what I do is surround myself with people smarter than me, experts in their given field. They give you options to govern, and then you make them. But Austin is you need to work across the aisle, certainly as it regards to public safety and the surplus. See, we're not getting our share in Houston of public funding under Harvey or any other consideration. We need Austin taxpayers, which we send Austin, and convince them as how Houston goes is how the state of Texas is going to go.
You know what I've seen, what observance of mine is that when things are going interestingly here in the Houston, Harris County area, seems to be a bias against this region from Austin.
Because Austin leadership is strongly controlled by the Republicans. Houston leadership is Democratic, but they don't work together. They don't talk, and there's plenty of blame to spread around. I'll be different. I work across the aisle. I just want to fix things. And I don't care if it's a Republican or Democratic proposal. If it's going to make Houston safer, if it's going to make Houston cleaner and work better, I'm on board.
Senator John Whitmire, you've been at it for a long time. You still have the energy. People would say, mid-70s. That's time to slow down.
I'm out working everybody because I'm so driven and passionate about my work. I've been a public servant my entire life.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Your history would show that, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your service to the community.
Thank you.
It is valued. It takes a lot for people to go out and do what you do on behalf of other people, and you've done that for many years. Good luck going forward. Stay safe on the trail.
I look forward to coming back and talking to you about maybe a report card.
Well, you got an open invitation.
I know, brother. Thank you.
John Whitmire, this is Houston Newsmakers Extra. Share it with everybody you know.